Did my son choose to be gay? And does he need to change his mind about that? Good questions, and thank you for joining me on a journey of understanding when you are a Baptist pastor and your son comes out as gay, because that is a journey I am on. So thank you for joining me on that journey, and if you'd like to be with me along that journey, hit subscribe, and well, let's go sailing. Do people choose to be gay? That is, do they choose to be same-sex attracted? You know, if I believed that my son chose to be gay, then perhaps I might think that the best thing I could do, the most loving thing I could do for my son would be to get him to change his mind. Is that something that I should have done? Is that something I should be doing now, is helping him to change his mind? That's a good question, and it relates actually to a question that I shared earlier in an earlier video, where I asked, is our first inclination to try, when our loved one comes out to us as gay, is our first inclination to try to set them straight according to our way of thinking? And really I was talking then about that moment that a loved one comes out to us as gay, really about that moment that they might need a listening ear at that moment, and how our first inclination, maybe it should be to just be there to listen, to dig deeper into their journey. I didn't do so well on that, and I'll share about that next week. But this week, really we're thinking not just about that moment that a loved one comes out as gay, but what about after that? What is the goal after that? Should our goal after that to be, okay, now let me help you change your mind about this, because that's the most loving thing I can do, is to get you to change your mind about being gay and to get you to decide to be straight. Is that the way it really works? Well, actually, I had my thoughts on this settled for me in about 2009, 2010, and that's where we're up to in this journey of understanding. Is that time when I was a pastor of a church where we had two openly gay men who were in a relationship with each other, who were married actually, and we were members of our church. And so one of the things I really learned from them was on this idea of choosing to be gay. Because they shared with me their journeys. They shared with me their journeys about rejection, about pain, about hurt that they'd experienced within and from families, within and from church families, within and from society. And so having shared with me all this hurt, they said to me, Clark, we wouldn't choose this. In fact, nobody would choose this. And that really impressed me, and that really settled for me at that time. Now, maybe there are those for whom there is an element of choice involved, but certainly for these two gentlemen, certainly in their minds, they did not choose it. And it's not something they would have willingly chosen, but rather they just knew that was a part of them that was true, whether they're born that way or whether it's part of early childhood, whatever. Fact is, they knew that they were same-sex attracted. That was that. And it was up to me, would I believe them or not? Would I just trust them in that or not? And I chose to trust them, that for them, it was not a choice to be gay. Now let's go back earlier, even before I met these two gentlemen. Let's go back to a prior church and go back to a time that our three sons, my wife and I, we have three boys, and back to the time they were aged 5, 4, and 2. And so yes, that was a very busy time. So they're aged 5, 4, and 2. And regarding the 4-year-old, I said to my wife one day, do you think he might be gay? Now my wife was shocked to hear me say that. But guess who should come out as gay years later, but that very son that I said that about. Now, why did I say that about that son? How did I know? Well, I didn't actually know, of course, but from time to time, something would shine through that would just make you wonder. And so when my son did come out as gay to us, did I try to change his mind? And am I trying to change his mind now? Well, as you've probably already guessed, no, because I don't believe it's something that he chose. Now, that doesn't mean that there wasn't some change of mind needed to happen, because someone did need to change their mind at that time, But it wasn't my son. It was me. I needed to change my mind. I needed to change my mind from, oh, what if I have a son who's gay, to, I have a son who's gay. I needed to change my mind from, oh boy, that would be a great disappointment if my son should come out as gay, to, I have a son who's gay, and that fact is not disappointing to me at all. I have a son who's gay, and he does not disappoint me at all. Yeah, someone needed to change their mind, but it wasn't my son. It was me. What do you think? Do you think people choose to be same-sex attracted? Do you think people choose to be gay? Do you think they need to change their minds? Or do you think that maybe we who are straight, maybe we're the ones that need to make some adjustments in our thinking from time to time? Every now and then, while we're under lockdown, I've preached the occasional sermons from right here in the pews in the church I pastor here. And I explain to the people that sometimes we who stand at the pulpit, sometimes we need to be the ones in the pews. Because sometimes we need to be the ones who need to take a look at what we're thinking, and maybe to have a change of mind. So thank you for joining me on this part of the journey, and we'll look forward to sailing with you next week. Thank you.